As an academic in the humanities on the tenure track, the general expectation of my field is to publish a nonfiction book as a part of my professional trajectory. And this fall marks my 4th year on the tenure track. So my plan is to have a completed draft of my manuscript by the time I go up for tenure in fall 2026. And since time is ticking and fall 2026 will be here sooner than we know it, I figured, why not create a mini-series of videos about the academic book publication process as I move through it over the next few years. Just to give you a little bit of information about this project, as well as about my research, just in case you are new to the channel, welcome. My work explores the representations of Black girlhood in U.S. culture over the past 60 years. These representations are as wide-ranging as the images of 6-year-old civil rights activist Ruby Bridges, to the production of American Girl's Addie Walker, to representations of Black girlhood in films like Disney's live-action remake of The Little Mermaid featuring actor Halle Bailey. And if you want to dive a little bit deeper into my work, I will leave links to my research videos in the description box below. The seedling for this current research project is loosely based on my dissertation, which was published in 2021 when I graduated with my PhD from UC Berkeley. It took me about 4 years to complete my dissertation, and those 4 years include the very beginning of the research to the finished manuscript. Since the dissertation is a different genre from the academic book in terms of style and writing, that means there needs to be a substantial amount of editing and revising in order to turn the dissertation into what is expected of an academic monograph. And actually, after months of deliberation, I personally have decided not to turn my dissertation into a book. Rather, I am drafting a new premise based on the intellectual and theoretical developments that I have been exploring since and during the time of writing my dissertation. What this means is that I am not copying and pasting from my dissertation. I'm not making the same arguments. I'm not using the same primary sources. I am literally writing this new book from scratch. Essentially, I like to think of my dissertation as the prequel to this new book. There are a good handful of university presses that I am excited about the potential of working with, one being Duke University Press. Many of the scholars that I admire in my field have had their books published with Duke University Press. Another press that I'm excited about is the University of Illinois Press. They have a series titled the New Black Studies series that I think would be a really great fit for my book. Then, of course, there's NYU Press. They have a critical perspectives on youth series that I also think would be a great fit. And then there is the Race, Rhetoric, and Media series with the University of Mississippi Press that I am also excited about. I have also been approached by 5 different acquisition editors in the past 2 years about them acquiring this project. So I'm actually grateful that I'm already garnering interest in this project, even though it is nowhere near done. So earlier this summer, I started working on the second draft of my book proposal. After I had completed the first draft, I had sent it to 2 colleagues who read it and provided me with their input. And so since then, I have incorporated their general feedback. Now, after redrafting my proposal, I'm pretty confident in saying that the book will have 7 chapters. That includes a hearty introductory chapter, 5 body chapters, and a short conclusion. The introduction and the body chapters will probably be about 10,000 words each, while the conclusion will probably range around 7,000 words. That means the total word count that I'm going for the entire manuscript is 67,000 words, and that doesn't include the endnotes or the reference list. My start date for this project was actually July 1st of this year, even though I am recording this video at the end of August. And I have set my end date for December 31st, 2026, which gives me 30 months to complete this project. And that is approximately 4 months to write each chapter. Because I only plan to write Monday through Friday, and that's not including holidays, I went ahead and calculated how many working days I will have within those 4-month slots in order to figure out my daily word count. Between July 1st and October 31st, I calculated that I have 85 working days. So in order to meet that 10,000 word count, I would need to be writing 118 words per day or 590 words per week. And of course, to keep myself on track, I did make chapter by chapter progress charts. And this project chart is for the intro chapter. As you can see, the chart is divided up by word count and paragraph mark. Obviously, these distinctions are somewhat arbitrary because no chapter is going to be exactly 10,000 words or exactly 25 paragraphs. But they've been helpful markers for me because I like to check things off. And since I am filming this at the end of August, you can see that I've consistently met my word count. I'm actually a little bit ahead of my word count, which makes me feel so good about my progress thus far. It seems like I'm only a paragraph off from what I originally projected, and because I think that the word count is actually more important than the paragraph count, I'm not troubled that I've been drafting slightly longer paragraphs than I had expected. My paragraphs have been ranging between 400 and 600 words, which is pretty typical for an academic monograph. I will make sure to be paying more attention to paragraph length during the revisions. Also, because August and October have a 5th week, I do have a little bit more breathing room when it comes to finishing this introduction. So by the last week of October, I should have already met my 10,000 word count, and then we'll be able to use that week to go over the full revision of the introduction. Between this November and February 2025, I'll be working on chapter 1. I have 79 days to meet that 10,000 word count, which means I need to be writing 127 words per day or 635 words per week. Then from March to June 2025, I'll be working on chapter 2. I have 83 days to meet that 10,000 word count, so I'll need to be writing 121 words per day or 605 words a week. Then I will take a month-long break from the project in July in order to hopefully come back refreshed in August. So between August and November 2025, I'll be working on chapter 3. I have 63 days to meet that 10,000 word count, and so I'll have to be writing 158 words per day or 790 words a week. Then from December 2025 to March 2026, I'll be working on chapter 4. I have 82 days to meet that 10,000 word count, so I'll have to write 122 words per day or 610 words a week. Then from April to June 2026, I will be working on chapter 5. I have 85 days to meet that 10,000 word count, so I'll have to be writing 118 words per day or 590 words per week. And then lastly, from August to December 2026, I will be working on the conclusion. I have 89 days to meet that 7,000 word count, so I'll only need to be writing 79 words per day or 395 words per week. Because the submission and the acquisition process can take quite some time, from a couple of weeks to many months, my plan is actually to start the submission process in early 2026, most likely between January and March. By then, I will have drafted my introduction and 3 body chapters, and most editors want 2 body chapters alongside the book proposal. So since I'll have 3 chapters drafted by January 2026, what I'll end up doing is choosing the strongest 2 to submit alongside the book proposal. What I haven't taken note of in this whole thing is that I will need to be revising the previous chapter while I am currently writing a new chapter. That is the only way that I'm going to be able to move this project forward and keep on track with this timeline. My college also has manuscript support funds, so I will be applying to those as I get further along in completing this process. Depending on what my needs are as I move further along, I'll either apply to work with a copy editor or a developmental editor. It is definitely going to be a very busy 30 months of writing. Especially since over the next 30 months, I will still be working my full-time job as a college professor. I'm still going to be working on finishing my novels, as well as continuing to publish research articles. But having concrete plans and a daily task list helps me to stay on track and to stay motivated. So, are you going to join me on this 30-month challenge towards your book project completion? Feel free to let me know which book project that you will be working on over the next 30 months. And if you have any questions about the academic publication book writing process, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I will be happy to give you as much insight as I possibly can as I move through this process over the next few years. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.